Hey guys, it's your best fight friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel.
Fight Peninsula. What about that, huh?
Fight Peninsula. First of all, I think if there are any Fight Peninsula shirts or bumper stickers or any kind of money made off that name, then we should definitely get a cut out of that. I'm not sure if we came up with it. I mean, I think we came up with it. I'm not sure if we're the first persons to use it, right?
Yeah.
It seems pretty like low-hanging fruit. Here's what happens every time something happens that's like, I think of like a funny thing or whatever. I'll like go to like put it somewhere and then like on Twitter or something, I'll be like, oh, 7,000 other people already said this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not. Anyway.
Yeah. It's hard to have fully unique phrases come out of our mouths.
Yeah.
But Fight Peninsula. So Florida decided that sports is an essential service, right?
I call it Flow Rida. Well, sports with national followings are essential services, which people, man, if you go onto the social media, are like selective outrage over that idea. These are the same people that are probably going to Pizza Hut or Whataburger without a second thought and thinking, this is essential. That ain't essential! You know what I'm saying? Like, you can make food at home. So before you start casting stones at others, it does open the door for the UFC to go over there. It opens the door for Bob Arum to go over there, too, for boxing. Opens the door
boxing,
for everybody.
UFC, WWE has already been
Their
holding...
headquarters is already there. So that's how this kind of all happened, right?
Yeah. And essentially, I think what the reasoning behind this is like, well, what we're trying to balance, right? Government agencies want to balance safety with economics. And, keeping people safe while everybody loses their jobs. Like, they want to try, if they can minimize that and have that be more balanced, then they want to try and do that. So having, like the MMA events or boxing events in the state of Florida without a general public admission. And yeah, I don't know.
I think you have to do that. I mean, it's the same, like, there's news. I'm watching news on how are the news people making news? They're at the place. How is that? Is that essential? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, anything can be labeled as essential.
Well, there's a spectrum, right?
It's just an opinion, basically. So I don't like when I see people throwing stones at how dare the WWE be essential? But I know this to be the true is that in their own lives, they're also doing things in their own experience that other people would think is not essential. But to them, it's essential.
What do we think about Fight Peninsula?
I'm all about Fight Peninsula. I'm all about Fight Island. I'm all about whatever keeps me, Kelsey McCarson, being able to write about combat sports because that's how I make a living.
So yeah, that's opening this up not only helps the venues, the athletes, it also helps everybody that's related to that. So you just mentioned how you're a sports writer, and so that is helpful if there are sports for you to write about. It helps people who, just all cameramen, people that set up the ring or the octagon, like there's all this stuff involved where it keeps people employed. On the other hand, we also read another article today about a doctor who suggests, hey, this is all going to go on a lot longer than we think. There's not going to be NFL, MLB, NBA for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And that's a bleak, like, out, and then that got me thinking, well, we really have to consider, like, why we are doing this. So the economics, yes, our economy radically changed because of this. But should we just say, you know what, because I've heard this argument in your piece, you called it the biological bomb, which is like, we just say, hey, you know what, screw this, we're going to live life as we live. If some of us die from coronavirus, some of us die from coronavirus. And the doctor's like, yeah, but some of us die from coronavirus means 2 million people die. And then she said, we have a hard time with big numbers like that. And said that was the equivalent of 9/11 every single day I think he said for 18 months.
Something like that. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's a huge number. It's huge. So that's not really like, that's not a good thing. You know what I mean? Maybe we're going to be poor. We're all going to be really, really poor. Maybe that is, so it makes me like reconsider, well, should these athletes in combat sports be convening in these spaces when I don't know if we have adequate COVID testing, you know?
Yeah, and it's not, what I'm saying, my argument is that, you're asking me what'd you ask me? I'm all for it. It's not my job to figure out how they do this safely. That's the people who are in charge of that job. That's scientists and other smarter people than sports writers.
I just don't know that doctors and scientists are actually in charge.
Here's what I don't like. I don't like when people have these hot opinions like blah, blah, blah. And you ain't a scientist. You know what I mean? Like, you're just a person who, if I look in your life, you probably have the same kind of like super big opinions about other stuff you don't know what you're talking about. I don't like that. That's the culture we live in today. I don't like it. That's my opinion. And my opinion, I guarantee you, is closer to truth than yours is.
Okay. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm not in a good mood today, punks.
All right. Well, what are your thoughts on Fight Peninsula?
Fight Peninsula is awesome. I will go there. I want to go to Fight Peninsula. I'd rather go to Fight Island and live there. I want to live there, and I want to write about the fights there and watch Shang Tsung take people's souls. He's like, your soul is mine. That's from Mortal Kombat, dummies.
Okay. All right. Well, that's our show. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Did you like the show? I feel like this is a show that might get a lot of thumbs downs, maybe? Not as much as our Khabib show.
Well, I didn't say nothing about your hero, Khabib.
That set the record for us getting thumbs down.
I like Khabib, too.